Because that's how you do. For the race you're attacking, you want to ask you for that come. Because when you're sick, I don't want to do that. Next Sunday will be my response. When the battle will be over prayer. Then we'll see you next. God bless you.
How come you speak to the press? Speak to the press.
Yeah, speak to the press.
Everyone, let me speak to the press. Kevin Matadi. I'm the vice chair for press and publicity of the NDR. Thank you very much. I'm Kevin Matadi. Today, you can see a bunch of citizens who have come to the Christ Chapel of Faith here beyond LBS to disrupt our different activities at this church. And we are calling the Liberia National Police.
Get back to them, Matadi.
We are calling on the Liberia National Police to come here. You can see a bunch of citizens who have come to the premises of the Christ Chapel of Faith of Dr. Johnson and the evangelists. We are here having our normal service activity here, and they have come to disrupt our activity. But what we can say is that the old man will preach. He will preach, and nothing will happen. You can see this is what this is a complete lawlessness. This is a complete lawlessness to come where we are having a normal service, and they have come to disrupt our activity.
Matadi, have you posted maybe to the Liberia National Police for safety?
Yes, I posted on my page. I posted on my page calling the attention of the Liberia National Police to come because we see this as an affront. Sunday as an
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony Sien, and plus and welcome to On Point here at Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. It's a political Sunday, and where would you rather be rather than on point, where the discussants are always on point on the issues. To discuss the issue, we got packaged Benjamin Kofa Fanien, a former presidential aspirant for 2023 is seated. Avid Morris is seated. Jimmy Eastman of On Point is seated. And also Aliu Kamara, a Bwaka supporter. Maybe he's going to be on point today. Welcome. Do us a favor and share the broadcast with your contact. The discussions here is going to be politically juicy. On our menu for today, Expulsion in NDR and reaction. We have a representative from NDR who is on the phone, and we will also be talking about what that official term as a lawless situation at the Church of Prince Johnson today. He will be speaking to us what was happening there. Also, Nyomli endorses the Bwakun Unity Packet ticket. However, Some Liberty Party members reject Youngly's endorsement of the Boakon ticket. Also on our menu, Musa Belete goes after Fagon, Spoon TV, and its CEO Witherspoon. Politics is at play in Liberia. Not forgetting, all Liberian parties remain disenchanted with the Boakon ticket. Why? We will talk politics there as well. Gonglo short-lived for VP and who he could pick, we don't know yet. Talking about politics, Len Eugene Nambe and VP Joel Howard Taylor go after the Boakon rescue team. What is it with this Boakon team that everybody trying to go after them? I think Aliu Kamara will be playing defense today. I like when he played defense. Again, folks, we are here. These are the issues on the menu. And we are now going straight to Liberia, where Kevin Matadi is on the phone, who is an official with the MDR. Kevin, are you there? How you doing?
Matadi, I'm the vice chair for press and publicity of the MPR, of the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction, MPR for short. I'm excited to be on your platform. You are doing a wonderful job.
All right, Kevin, thanks for making time to be on the phone with us today. We saw what you term as lawlessness at the church of, we know him to be evangelist Prince Johnson. What was happening there? We saw a group of people with placards. It's like they were protesting. Can you explain to us quickly what was happening there?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Earlier today, as our normal routine, Senator Johnson, Evangelist Johnson, has always used the church to reconcile Liberians, to talk to the governance structure of the country, to talk to the leadership of the country in terms of elevating some of the vices. What happened 10, 15 years ago, things that we spoke against before, once the senator and evangelist see some of those things and spiritually he touched by some of them, sometimes he amplify on the platform that is at the Christ Chapel of Faith Church, is elevated, and traditionally people know the church to be the church that the Senator Johnson is a man that has spoken against some of the vices that took place before. Howbeit, today at about 10 to 11 to 12, we somewhere at the church, the members of the church were sitting, and I got some information that they were unknown. There's a gentleman, not gentlemen, but hooligans. Sorry, I can't call them gentlemen, but hooligans.
And why you think hooligans would be the right description for them, Kevin? Why you think hooligans would be the right description for them?
Sedition, MPP fraction, that is Jewel Howard Taylor fraction of the MPP. They gathered somewhere at the LPS community, and we were hinted by sources in the community that these men, we don't know them, or we see them with barrack, CDC barrack, and they are situated somewhere. So when they told me, I posted on my official Facebook page. If you go on my official
and Kevin, if you can hear me, can you tell us their reason for being there with what looked like a protest? Did it say why were they there for?
I just want to give you the basis, then we can go what they were there for. I just wanted to lay some basis. If you talk to give me a chance.
All right, go ahead, Kevin. Just be as brief as possible. You know we're working with time.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I posted on my official Facebook page, elected the National Police, then I went outside to the old man before he came downstairs for the service in the same building. And I told him, I said, a member of this community came to me and said, There were unusual happening, and so we got to call Patrick Soto. The sources are reliable. So the old man placed some call to Patrick Soto, and he said he was sending men. And unfortunately for us, the men never arrived. But where they went was to LBS at the station. They were there until these gentlemen, those guys, they marched to the church, to the edifice of Senator Johnson's Christ Chapel of Faith. When they came, the old men were about to preach. They started shouting with the slogan, War Crown Code. And if you see those guys, I think you saw the video that have gone viral. Some of them have iron in their hands. Some of them have all other weapons, knives in their hands. And our members started going away. And I came out, and I think you can see the video, and I spoke to the press. I said, we will not go anywhere, and the old man would preach. All right? Howbeit, we spoke, but the old man and other people called and they told Senator Johnson, Evangelist Johnson, to leave, and he left. And what we can say today, before you come in with your next question, is this is complete loyalness. This is an attempt to quiet some of the strong voices in the country who are speaking against the vices. Things are happening in the governance structure of the country. This is an attempt to quiet them down. But I can tell you for sure, we will not.
Kevin.
The will be delivered. You have been deferred to next Sunday.
Mr. Matadi, were you able to gather from them their specific reason for what looked like a protest that they carry on at the church today?
Come on again.
Did they tell you, did you gather from them their reason for being there with what looked like a protest that you are terming as lawlessness?
I think for the interview, some of those guys that spoke, they said Senator Johnson, he has always used the pulpit of his church to speak against leaders, quote unquote. That's what they say in the interview. So they are saying that Senator Johnson should not use the church to speak against leaders. And I can tell you for sure, we will not go to war anymore. But for somebody to use a platform to speak in terms of leadership like today, Senator Johnson attempted to speak in terms on leadership. All right? So we were in the mood to receive for Senator Johnson to deliver a message that will win souls, a message that will speak to the leadership of the country in terms of the last seat. So I think it was in no way.
Kevin, Mr. Johnson is a politician who uses the church all the time to talk politics. And these young people, more than likely, we know that they are politically active and have people they support as well. For them to go to the church to protest, do you not see it as their right as citizens to protest against any political leader or political actor in our country? And were they peaceful from what you observe?
They were not peaceful. If you watch our video kingly, you see more than 2-3 gentlemen with iron in their hands to go to a church where people are peacefully sitting and waiting the overseer, the general overseer of the particular church to deliver a particular sermon, where you see a bunch of young people who have come, you see in their hands, you see iron, you see knife and other stuff in their hand. I think it was unfortunate. All right?
Did it hurt anybody, Kevin? Did it hurt anybody?
They never. But if you watch our video clearly today, you saw me. I was trying to put a block of the young people who came, even the community leaders came. They were ready to even go after them. But I spoke to them and I said, I beg you guys, wait, because anything happen here, it will be Senator Johnson. to Senator Johnson. So who managed to speak to the consciences of the young people who were ready to even go after them. There were just a handful of young people who went to cause this problem. And as I speak to you, there are almost hundreds of elders from Nima who gathered right after that particular incident in the home or premises of Senator Johnson as a Duboro resident who came, they asked him, Senator Johnson spoke to them and said, no, nobody should do anything. I'm a peaceful man. All right? What we need, Kevin, we will be a one-term president because he has done much to deserve another term. If they will kill me, let it kill me, but don't do anything.
Kevin, did they enter the church?
Come back again?
Did they enter the church during their protest action? Did they enter the church?
Never enter the church. The matter of fact, they were out, but they were chanting. Senator Johnson had a family there. He has a wife, and they were chanting. The matter of fact, the noise was so much. The community, we could not sit. It was normal for us or the congregation to sit and for the general overseer, Senator Johnson, to deliver this sermon. So we left. We advised. Other people spoke to me and said, tell the senator and the evangelist to leave to go home, and he left. I think that was the best thing to avoid problem.
Kevin, do you know whether or not somebody sent them or were they acting on their own? What do you know?
This is not a secret. This is not a secret. A bunch of young people, according to another sources that is very reliable, they stopped to the Sophie resident of Manajua, Howard Theater, where they have lunch with her this morning before coming. The matter of fact, both of them, I know them. The gentleman I recognize said that she's the lead person in the Jewel Theater fraction of the MPP from the 72nd belt of Pinsville. We know them, all right? And he's very close to Jewel Howard Theater. So you don't have to be a scientist to predict that she told them, and Eugene Nam and the rest of the folks, they know that Senator Johnson is the one who is playing number 9 in this election.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Kevin. And folks, if you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia with our program On Point. We have on the phone Kevin Matadi, who is an official spokesperson of Senator Johnson and a member of the MDR, that is the political party of Prince Johnson. On the phone today, a group of people, young people believed to be from the MPP and the CDC, were at the church premises of Prince Johnson during his church service, and that church service was disrupted during to what looked like a protest action from the young people. But Kevin, back to you here quickly. Senator Johnson said that he can gather about 500 ex-combatants next Sunday at the church, and that is the time that he will respond to what happened today. My question is the senator planning any form of retaliation that you know of?
Senator Johnson is a human being, and when you push somebody, if you follow that video, even when at the home of Senator Johnson, Evangelist Johnson, he will peaceful. All of the statement, he will come back and say, let Liberia remain peaceful. We don't want to bring any trouble. If you follow the press conferences today, when he spoke to the press, he's a harmful person. All right? He continued to talk about peace, and I think it was just an emotional statement he made, but he have no intention to disrupt this peace. But what he did on the pulpit today, it was just an emotional statement to say, 500 men. But I think Senator Johnson is a senator of a county. If you were in the country today to go at the home of Senator Johnson to see the Amaro, the Amaro.
Kevin, he said 500 ex-combatants. Hold on, Kevin.
Incident today, I'm coming. Those who troop at the home of the senator today, the adults, the young people for Nima, as I speak to you, there are people who continue to call Senator Johnson, what happening? But you see, the resident was failed today to capacity because people believe in him. But he continues to speak on the phone about finding some of the conversation, say, you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing, no border, small boss in the Liberian. I think he remains peaceful.
Kevin, please make your question, your answer shorter. My panelists here will want to ask you a question or two each. And my final question is, you are a young man. Do you feel comfortable working with and for Senator Prince Johnson?
As a person, when I feel humble. Let me tell you, I feel humble. I'm progressing in my term and very tough in my thoughts to work for one of the brilliant sons of the county, Senator Johnson, a man who owns now his own political party, the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction, who grew somebody, Senator Jeremiah Kuhn. He said today he's the old president. He playing a more advisory role. He had given Senator Kuhn the lead role. Say Senator Johnson, Senator Kuhn, you can play the lead role in a particular political party while he's living. I think I feel privileged to work with the adult, the most senior president of the county as an embodiment. I think I feel more humble to work with him and somebody who I live. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll bring in my panelists here. We'll ask you one question in, and we'll start with Benjamin Kofa-Fanier, but I'm in trouble.
I'll got the answer to some of the questions. So thank you.
Yeah, please make them short.
Kevin, hello, and I just want to say this, sir. We watched the images from what you experienced. So, but I would like to say this though. You know, as we try to resolve issues, we have to be factual, we have to be fair. There were individuals who spoke on that video today, and all of them that spoke say they were members of the youth of NPP. That's what they designated themselves. But I heard you maybe 2 times on this short show, and I heard some of the people from the MDR. They were saying, oh, it's CDC, it's Eugene Nambwe, it's Jefferson Koji, you know, but the people who were there, the guys, they designated themselves as the youth members of NPP. So I just want you to tell us if you have any additional information that confirms what you are saying in terms of these guys being from CDC or Eugene Nambwe or from any other source. Because what I'm telling you is I watched the video, they declared themselves as members of the MPP youth wing. Thank you.
My dear brother, the Liberian community is a very small community, and when there's certain information, when it comes to learn of information in the country, some of us, we are not far from information. There were 2 gentlemen that were recognized beyond the MPP folks. One there who lived just opposite Jefferson Koji. According to our understanding from our sources, he even lived almost with Jefferson Koji. The other young man that lived closer to the beach. He always sitting right to Jewel Howard to the house right in front of the fence. The matter of fact, this is why I told you guys that this morning they have breakfast. When I say they have breakfast, I symbolic breakfast, that is the pass to our home. The very group you saw before sitting at the Christ Chapel way. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know. The Liberian community is a very small community. When you want to know certain information, you will know.
Thank you. Aliu, you can ask your question, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before I ask that question, let me just say thank you for coming on, Kevin. We are not oblivious of the day-to-day realities in Liberia. NPP is in coalition with CDC, and therefore, by extension, they were CDC. We all watched the video, and it was clear that they came in over there in retaliation on behalf of the former vice president. The former vice president is the vice president of the CDC-led government. So there's no need to explain too much on that. But my question to you is, can you show legally that wherever they were carrying out that stuff I call exorcism, can you say that it was done on the premises of Senator what is his name, Prince Johnson's property? If so, now that we can recognize on video each person, each of the guys who were on there, is it possible to take legal action against them?
Initially, I will answer the question yes. The activities of both the Congress of Democratic Change Force and the dual Howard Theater fraction of the MPP, those folks you saw today, they were situated directly at the Christ Chapel of Faith. That school and the church is situated a little over 1 lakh with a school, and they were there. Whether we are contemplating in terms of legal action against those folks, we are consulting with our leaders, let's say the legal president. As you might be aware, that our chairman is a counselor. He just spoke to me, and tomorrow we are convening an executive committee meeting. So upon our meeting, there will be some decision that will be made. There will be some hard statement that will come up. As I speak to you, our collaborating party, the Unity Party, has spoken in terms of solidarity with our lead vision bearer, the Golden Council Chair, Senator Prince Johnson, Evangelist Prince Johnson. They have spoken, and we will speak as a party.
Thank you. Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, Jimmy, go ahead with your question, please.
Mr. Matadi, how are you today, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Matadi, can you hear me?
I'm
yes, I want to address the question. Yes. I want to piggyback on the question Fania asked. And also my brother Aliyu, did the premises? Did the crowd outside breach the premises? Did they get on the church ground with their rally? That is a very important factor because everybody is free to assemble. But did they enter the the church's premises?
No, they never entered the church physically. But what they were doing, they were disrupting to be shouting, "War Cranko! War Cranko! You warlord! You do this!" Yeah. And where they were standing, they were just each away in terms of where the congregation was sitting. So they were intentionally disrupting, not physically entering the church, but with their voices, they were crossing north and even the peaceful congregation, the peaceful Liberians who have gone to listen to Senator Johnson. They started running ahead of scatter. So intentionally they did that, but physically they never enter the church. But with their word of words, they disrupt the normal activity of the church.
Okay. So since they did not enter, they were shouting outside and with the intention probably of disturbing. But if they did not enter the premises, then do you still think you would take legal action against them because they never entered the premises? They are allowed to assemble outside.
My brother, legally, I think I'm a student of criminal justice. When I talk about disruption, you don't have to be physically to enter somebody's premises or to hit on somebody. You could disrupt somebody with even your tune. You could disrupt somebody. There are a lot of this disruption come in many forms. That's what I can say. So we see that as Another disruption. Now facility to enter the church and start beating people.
The church yard. Forget about the church.
If somebody were in the church, if another person were in the church who have a pressure patient who had died today, all right, you gotta bring the knife or the collar you brought in the church. But when people saw you, you were talking, "Well, Grongo." Some people, the old man started running.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Evan Morris, your turn to ask question.
Thank you. Thank you, and hello to you, Kevin. I will make a comment quickly before I ask my question. I mean, what a time to be alive, where warlords take peaceful protests as an affront, to their status in our society. Let me tell Kevin, the ultimate disruptor was Prince Johnson, who killed people and disrupted their family line. On both sides on every side of the war, people committed atrocity, killed people's family members, their fathers, their mothers, and disrupted their family lives. So when you're talking about disruption, it's laughable. But let me ask you this, Kevin. Do you think that we will see even more of this and perhaps even worse if Jeremiah Kuhn is to be elected as vice president of the country? Because we know people have certain sentiments against Prince Johnson. I heard Mr. Aliyu Kamara say, MPP is an extension of the CDC, but when we say Prince Johnson is an extension of Jeremiah Kuhn, he refused to take that, that comparison. But do you think you will see a lot worse coming from certain parts of the country or certain groups in the country if Prince Johnson, by extension of Jeremiah Kuhn, by extension Prince Johnson, are elected as vice president of the country? Thank you.
My brother, I will come to that question to answer that question, but there's no way Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kuhn has always said repeatedly and consistently that Jeremiah Kuhn is not Jeremiah Johnson. Beyond that, the question you asked in terms of Senator Johnson being the key person in terms of disruption because he brought war, he fought war, I would tell you no. Nimbadian, we too are veterans of this war. If you want to say, let's discuss it tonight. We too are veterans of the war. I was small. In 1985, we saw babies who were taken from Nima and they were buried. You think no family from Nima, they don't need justice? Oh yes, they need justice. They too need justice. But to take Senator Johnson, a single president, to start protesting to say, Senator Johnson, we need justice, we walk around for, then you've been political about this issue. Let's say Senator Johnson collaborated with his 15 people. 2017, you are injured. We collaborated with them. But today, he's a Satan, he's a demon. Let me be to ourselves. They walk in the country because of many vices, not because Senator Johnson took gone, because of corruption, because of nepotism, because of favoritism, because of regionalism. They want just like me now. All of the officials, they are from where? They are from East because of regionalism. Today, you come to say because a single person should go to the war chronicle. No, they've been political about the issue. We are not against the movement for democracy and reconstruction. We are not against that. What we want to say is that the process is leading. The process is the war chronicle coming to Liberia. Let our processes and forming up be followed to the fullest.
Kevin, two simple questions here quickly, my friend. Senator Johnson said that power is not good for those from the Southeast. Do you agree with him? That's one. Two, do you agree that Senator Johnson said that power is not good for those in the Southeast or from the Southeast, to put it right? Do you agree with him?
What I can tell you today is Senator Johnson has always been peaceful. Some of the statements he made today, he was emotionally charged, and I think he needs much interpretation by himself. not me as an official spokesperson, but you are emotionally charged. Like you see today, you see a group of young people who have gone to terrorize just peaceful civilians, and as a general overseer of a church organization that is headed by the
you said that earlier. I'm asking you, Kevin. Kevin.
He made such a statement. I think it was interpretation by himself, not me.
Kevin, I'm asking you for your own opinion as a leader, as a citizen of Liberia. This is a leader in our country who said that power is not good for those from the southeast. Do you agree with him that power is not good for those from the southeast? That's what I'm asking.
We can hear you.
We can hear.
Dennis, they can hear me.
Oh,
yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe the power.
Okay, I got a question now. I can speak to that.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak to that.
Yeah, Kevin. Do you agree with Prince Johnson that power is not good for?
Yeah, go ahead.
The southeast? Go ahead.
Can I speak to that?
Yes.
Yes, quickly, please.
I think Senator Johnson is a subject. He spoke in terms of southeasterner, whether power is good for them or not. I think he spoke in a context, except he defined what he said. I cannot speak to that.
All right, that is fair enough that you cannot tell me
Hold on,
what
Mr. Sear, I'm not
him.
Something's wrong with the speaker here. I don't know why I'm losing you.
Dennis, we are okay. We're hearing him and they are hearing me here. So Kevin, it's okay. You said you don't want to answer the question. That's okay. You don't want to tell me whether or not you agree with Senator Johnson. That's okay. But my next question here is, which will be the final. Do you agree that Senator Prince Johnson has committed atrocities during the war? Do you agree he did that? Kevin, are you there? All right. Dennis, thanks for your help. It seems to be we might be having issues there. Folks in cyberspace, if you are just joining us, you are watching our program On Point. I'm Anthony here hosting. Today, I have with me Benjamin Kufafamia, Aliyu Kamara, Evan Morris, and the man Jimmy Eastman from the nation's capital. We have had on the phone with us Kevin Matadi, an official spokesperson of Senator Prince Johnson and the MDR. Today, there was a protest. We saw folks from MPP and the CDC protesting at the church premises of Senator Prince Johnson, chanting war crime quote. We will leave it there for now, and we will take a short break. When we come back, we will be going to the issues, and our panelists will be weighing in. We have a whole lot to cover today on our menu. A short break, and we...
What's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind. We're
have, conservative Republicans, we have blue blood Republicans, we have all stripes of Republicans. And most times, you and I, everybody can see, some of them even come out and they spoke against Trump. Some of them speak against Trump every day. We don't have people being expelled, or even if they will reach that stage, people are granted what I call due process. So,
and if you don't mind, can you share with all the reason for the expulsion?
Yeah, it says right here, it says they were expelled for violating Article 14 of the MDR Constitution. Article 14 of the MDR Constitution states that no registered member of the party shall owe loyalty to another party or cause another member to pledge allegiance to another party. If any member of this party is found in supporting any other party in any form or cause another partisan to pledge support to another party, that constitutes a violation that is punishable as may be required by law. So I don't know what that means. So I just hope, like I said, they experience what I call due process, and if they feel that their rights were abused, they can seek redress in the law court. But I just think organizations in Liberia need to kind of enhance their framework to a large extent to compensate for what I call internal dissent. People need to have dissent in organization, because that's how you grow. That's how you kind of, that's how you share ideas. That's how the movement advances. So I make very light of this thing in terms, because I think it was done basically at the leader's whim. And I mean, from my personal take, I don't think it was right.
Thank you, Ben. We have Kevin back on the line. We could not conclude with him, so we'll go back to the phone where Kevin is seated. Kevin, can you hear me now?
I think.
All right. Thank you, Kevin, for all the effort you are making. Did you get my final question before you fell off? Or you want me to repeat that?
Recent expulsion of 3 of our party executives.
Yes.
No. Before that, you asked him about if Prince Johnson committed atrocity in Liberia.
That was not relevant.
Yeah. My last question to you was, do you agree that Senator Prince Johnson committed atrocities in Liberia during the war? Do you agree or not?
There's no court of competent jurisdiction have indicted Senator Johnson.
I'm not asking you, Kevin. I want honesty here. If you can't answer the question, it's okay. Don't play that game with me, Kevin. I'm asking you whether or not
Senator Johnson is indicted. What we can say now is Senator Johnson is alleged to have committed some serious crime in the country. He's alleged.
Wow.
So
is it alleged that those babies were thrown in the well? And is it alleged that those people committed atrocity against the people from Nima? Is it alleged, or do you take that as facts?
Yeah, it's alleged.
Okay, all right, fair enough. It's alleged.
Let's talk about the expulsion of 3 of our members, 3 of our former members, executive members. That is Representative Gwampu Cardon of Nima District Number 4, the former Secretary General Mervyn Yulu, and Wilfred Bangura. We went to Ganta, Bonkante, in December of last year, and we discussed about what have we benefited in the collaboration with the coalition. We came to the realization that yes, we are not benefited as a party, the country are not benefited, President Weah have not governed well to deserve another term. So we imposed a decision, upon this convention, they go to Monrovia. They engage other party with a conversation. President Weah don't deserve another term. And we agree upon it. Upon returning to Monrovia, we heard Wilfred Bangura on the ERBC radio. You were condemning our decision. Not just condemning our decision, he and bulk of those folks I'm talking about, they took the airwaves. They went on rally to condemn us. The whole CDC party taking sides. And Article 14A of our Constitution clearly speak about that. In terms of paying allegiance to another party or another political leader while you're in our party. That's a good violation of our party.
Yeah, but Mr. Matadi.
And they were coming. Because people say they were not investigated. It's important to make this point. They were investigated, and a report was submitted to the executive committee of the MDR. Some people say they never received letters, so they're not coming. All right, and we send them text messages. There's something in the legal profession called default by judgment. So if somebody sends you text to come and submit to a particular panel and you avoided that, so you hold yourself to be responsible, like in the case of Wampu Kagon.
Yeah, Mr. Matadi. Just a quick question here. Okay, you say you went and you discussed the benefit that the MDR had received, but did the party make a resolution? Was there a vote taken by the party that we should no longer support the CDC government, or it was just a unilateral decision? And this is what Bangura and whatnot are maintaining, that this decision was unilateral. It was not a party consensus. Just few people got together and said they were doing this. So that's why I'm asking you now, did you vote on it? Did the party get together and make a resolution to no longer support the CDC?
I made a statement. Let me re-emphasize that this was not just a unilateral decision. It was a unanimous decision by the executive committee of the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction in Ganta a fortnight ago. We reached a decision. We asked ourselves several questions. What have we benefited as a party? What the country have benefited? Whether President Weah has done much to deserve another term. And we came to a realization that President Weah, he has not done much to deserve another term. And this was unanimous voted. That no, indeed, we're not in there with these people. We're not supporting them no more. And we agree upon it. This decision was unanimously voted for.
Thank you.
Wait, one question. What benefits were MDR looking for? What benefit they were looking for?
What benefit for it? This is why I said the MDR. What have we benefited MDR as a party? What have we benefited as a party?
Yeah, but what you were looking for? What you were looking for? What you were looking for? That's why I'm asking you.
What we were looking for in a party negotiation like we're doing now with the Unity Party, we're talking about a better welfare for the overall good of the country, not just the MDR. Because MDR, remember how Liberian strategy. We're talking about the health sector of the country. We're talking about the agricultural sector of the country. We're talking about the economic structure of the country. We're talking about the infrastructure of the country. If the MDR member benefit, then mean that the country and the citizenry have benefited.
And Kevin, if I can follow up on that, when the Senator Prince Johnson party supported Ellen Johnson 2-term, did you benefit? Because we didn't see you leaving the United Party at the time when you supported them. Prince Johnson supported them 2 times instead of Prince Johnson. Does it mean that he got all he wanted at the time, and now you're not getting all you wanted, so that's why you're leaving?
Very bad feedback.
Not getting you.
Did you get any benefit from the collaboration with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and now you're not getting some?
From Sirleaf, you know, sometimes it sounds offensive when people say these things. Nima is the MDR stronghold. It's a Nima, the lower Nima Bell Tapata, where Manaseli built our hospital. That hospital, you know how many residents in cater into as I speak to you? People from Yaren Manson, district number 9. People from the Tapata Bell. People from the Ganta district number 1 Bell. Can even go for CT scan in Tapata. But today, those infrastructure that were put in place by Manaseli have been undermined because of what? Low budgetary allotment.
Thank you.
That's what your senator is there for, to fight for those kind of things.
You see from red light, the road you see from red light to Ganta, it was doing Manaseli time.
Thank you. And
that road you see right now that were embarked upon from Ganta to Sakape and Sakape and Tapata, those are enrichment that were initiated by previous government. So we can take your intellectual debate to this government to tell them that you haven't initiated a particular project and start a project and end that project. We challenge it. I'm talking about a genuine project. Because we have not done. I'm talking about a real project. Because we have not done that.
All right, Kevin.
Genuine project.
Kevin, Senator Prince Johnson has accused all of you days ago of being killers. And the event that happened today, the young people there who staged the protest calling him a killer and calling for war crime court. So Prince Johnson is saying that folks in the he is accusing the government of extrajudicial killing. All right, and that they have been sanctioned, the government being sanctioned, so individuals being sanctioned as well, and he himself is being sanctioned. The question is, what is he writing the embassies for? Because he said he's going to write the embassy and other people. What is it goal? What he's looking for to get out of these letters of communication he wants to write to people?
Let me announce to you that it's not just Senator Johnson, a single individual will be writing the diplomatic. It will be our institution who will be writing, and the international community, the various embassies across the country. We are writing them, officially informing them that this is an attempt to silence some of the critical voices in the country, particularly Senator Johnson. It's an attempt to silence him. If you don't see it that way, we see it that these people, they're not even going after Jeremiah Kuhn. They're not going after Jota Bwaka. But they're going after Senator Johnson because they know what Senator Johnson can do. When you stand for something, you stand for it.
No, but Mr. Matadi, Prince Johnson announced that he was going to rebut Jua Howard's statement at church today. Do you remember that he made that announcement? That was invoked this demonstration. Do you not remember he said that he was going to address her today in church?
Yeah, but he has a right to do that.
No, but I'm trying to tell you.
And they have a right to protest, Mr. Kamara.
No, you're missing the point, Aliu. The point is, it didn't just target Prince Johnson arbitrarily. Prince Johnson said, I'm going to address Jua Howard today. And then they showed up. It was not arbitrary.
Yeah. It wasn't their business. It wasn't their business. It was between him and Jua Howard.
Yes, but what I'm trying to bring to a point here is, listen, what I'm trying to say is that,
because of the same thing our past leader did. We're not going to look no more. We will speak. This is why you see some of us coming today. The MDR is a new brand party. The Kevin Matadi you see and the rest of the folks. And we appreciate Senator Johnson who playing a more advisory role. He has given us the young people the chance to play a more active role in terms of the mainstream of the party. What Senator Johnson has done is commendable. He's a Democrat. Beyond that, the question you're asking about Senator Johnson in terms of going after or making a post on the official Facebook page, nothing wrong with that. All right. If Senator Johnson come on your official Facebook page or even go to a church to address a particular issue, what's wrong with that?
Kevin, let me interrupt one last time. Do you see a problem, Kevin? Excuse me, please. Let me ask you a question, quick. Do you see a problem with Prince Johnson specifically saying that he will hire ex-combatant? For some of us, that's a dog whistle. He could hire professional security firms that's in Liberia to protect him. Why the mention of ex-combatants? Well, do you see anything wrong with that?
The statement Senator Johnson made today, I just say, I think some are just emotional statement. Let me tell you, I personally advise Senator Johnson. I told him, you know how many ATU people in Nima can even talk to me because of some of our proximity to tell Senator Johnson, oh, the old man got to beat up his security because those guys see him as a target. And when we tell him, he say, my son, forget about that thing. I'm 70 years old now. Anything I get is a dash. But I know God gave me for purpose. Look, if you see no Liberian that is confident of himself, Senator Johnson.
All right. Kevin,
today, it was because of the place of emotionally charged, and he's a human being. I think he intends to protect himself too as a human being. So some of these statements were just emotional.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, we want to say thank you, and thank you so very much for giving us your time to speak to this issue. We will reach out to you another time in the future to talk about the MDRO and this collaboration.
Before Kevin leaves, Anthony, I beg you, before you leave, Kevin, I got one last question. You know, in our Liberian parlance,
Okay, ask a question.
Do you think?
I think he's stuck there.
Kevin, do you think now?
Yeah, he said you should ask a question. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Jimmy is freezing.
Yeah.
Yes. Get my question. We got on something in Liberia. Don't raise snake, baby. He raises baby now.
Jimmy is always having audio issues. Jimmy, you didn't come through correctly.
But ask a question for him because I think you understood the question.
Yeah, he
the people that resist Liberia at CDC. They don't want to resist Liberia.
That is my question.
He said in Liberia they say don't raise snake, baby. You understand what that means? Well, anyway, Kevin, you don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Kevin does not know that. Let's leave that. Kevin, again, we want to say thank you, and we are about to take leave of you. We will get your parting comment, and if you don't mind,
can I get 30 seconds with Kevin before he goes?
Yes, Anthony, I got to say something too.
All right, Ali, you go, and then we get to Ben.
Kevin, I want to say thank you for the courage. I watched the episode that took place. It was very unfortunate. No civilized society should witness things like that. I want to, this particular moment, I know you're a politician and you're trying to be politically correct on some things, but I know Senator Johnson is watching, he's listening. Let me tell you something. Don't sit down there. Don't sit down there. Some foolish people come and hurt you, Senator Johnson. If you can defend yourself, there are certain languages that certain people will understand. CDC has been not only a belligerent, but they have been a barbarian since they started in 2018. If they come after you, you must defend yourself to the fullest. You have a wife, you have children, you have grandchildren, they also depend on you. Don't sit there and play passive.
Ali, are you calling for war? Are you calling
for war? Ali, you're inciting violence on this platform. That's beneath you, Mr. Kamara.
You don't have to be for war. What you call beneath you?
It's beneath you. These people are taking political action. They're not doing any violence against Prince Johnson.
My friend. You know what? I told you the last time you're going to be a good politician, but I'll take that back.
Thank you. I accept it.
You gotta watch your words.
Go ahead.
Yes, excuse me, guys. I want to say this. We are what I would call in the media. And Anthony, I wish you had held the guest a little bit more accountable. You see, when we are discussing these things, we have to be very fair.
Then you are here. You jump in and hold your accountable.
In terms of what happened today.
So don't put that on me on it.
No, we were not told. We witnessed the video. We witnessed it. And like I said, I want to say this and I want to be point blank. The individuals who were involved, they identify themselves. They identify themselves. They say we are from the NPP youth wing. Nobody mentioned CDC. Nobody mentioned Eugene Nangwe.
Why are you fighting this when these guys were seen with CDC Barra?
Let me tell you this, my brother. Information
seen with CDC Barra, man.
No, excuse me, my brother. When as information goes along, if there are not sufficient pushback, they get tainted. What I want to say here is, as we are discussing these things, we have to be honest and hold people accountable.
He wants to give us certain comments.
Yeah, Kevin, go back. Yeah, you got to
say. We do not want something to lead to something that it is not.
Well, talk to CDC. Let them make a parting comment. Talk to CDC on that one.
Yeah, the people who were involved, they identify themselves, and that's what I want Liberians to get hold of. Nobody mentioned Eugene Nangwe. Nobody mentioned Jefferson Koji. Nobody mentioned CDC. Thank you.
Kevin, your parting
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin made a parting statement.
And so thank you, gentlemen. For us, for the movement for democracy and reconstruction, we are always excited to talk to you in the press, to use the public space to communicate our mission and our vision for our party. In terms of Senator Johnson and the people of Nima, we take no pleasure, or I think it may sound offensive when people say, oh, the MDR who is Nima. And we'll say, I know it will sound offensive to certain people, but Nima will deliver Nima. Is all the attack you see on Senator Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn is because they know Nima has fallen. And when Nima fall, Bon County will fall. And when Bon County fall, Lofa County will fall. Those are the things they continue to see. What we see is a weakening, but it's late. The train, like Eugene Fagon can say, the train has left. President Weah don't deserve another term. There's no sector in the country, gentlemen, some of you not here. There's no sector in the country President Weah can boast upon. Not the health sector. Going Capital Hospital today. A little over a week ago, I was there. I went to the hospital to visit the hospital that Chinese people built. You go there, some of the services are down. Go to some of the service center in the country. There was a structured bill that when you want marriage certificate, you got to come Monrovia. There was a long-term plan. Today, when you go to some of those centers, the place are broken down. There's lawlessness across the country. If you go to the court today, somebody sue you. The corruption in the court. Everything is upside down. There's no sector of the country, President, where I can vote upon. Not the infrastructure sector. I'm talking about a genuine project that President Weah will negotiate, start, and end. Besides building makeshift marketplaces to go and dedicate. We're talking about a genuine project. Liberia is not a small country. What we're seeing today is a movement. The movement I agree to make President Weah a one-term president. I know he had to leave power, but he will go. Go.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. That was the voice of Kevin Matadi, the official spokesperson for Senator Prince Johnson, a member of the MDR. The MDR now, according to him, in a collaboration with...
No, he didn't say that.
He said that.
He said that.
It is a collaboration.
He said that. He said it. Then it's a saying.
Well, that was a slip of tongue.
It's a slip of tongue.
That's not for you to say.
The member would say slip of tongue.
Collaboration means come up with an agreement and sign a piece of document. We have no signing.
He's an official of the party, and that's why he said, I can't say.
Okay, well, done secretly. Okay, go ahead.
Alio. I know you are prepared to defend Mr. Walker. You always want to,
of course,
and I understand that strategy. I understand that strategy. Folks in cyberspace, focus Liberia on point. I'm trying to be on point, and the man Aliyu Kamara, it seems to be he doesn't like to see me here because of the punches that come from me.
We're getting on point. Don't worry, we get Aliyu on point.
Aliyu, get prepared. I want you to be on point. A short break. We will be.
Just measure your question will be relevant.
On point.
Okay.
Our country, our country, that God gave us this country. Fellow Liberian, that God gave us this country. We are calling on everyone here to come and pray for this country, Liberia. God gave us this country.
Indeed, God gave us the country Liberia. This is why we are here to talk about Liberia, talking about Liberia. Next on our menu, Senator Nyomli Kanka Lawrence endorses Bwakun Unity Party's ticket. Aliu Kamara is here. I'm happy that he's here. Aliu, this endorsement is not getting rejected by some members of the opposition Liberty Party. They are saying she is not the legitimate political leader of the party based on the Supreme Court's judgment. More so, she could not have committed the party the way she did so when she is not the legal leader of the party. So they are saying, how can you commit the entire party when you don't have the constitutional right to do so? And they are saying they are not buying it. Is that going to undercut that endorsement? And we are hearing about Charlene Bronskin from the Liberty Party, more than likely to be paid by Elizana Benedict Cummings. When that happens, without further undercut, whatever support this Unity Party should have gotten or should be getting from Grand Bassa County. What do you make of all that?
And when we're talking about cassava fish and people talking about papale, they can just make me to laugh. Yeah, you know, one of them got enough meat and one of them not get no meat. Which one you prefer? You see, let me tell you something.
And which one has meat?
And which one has a better taste?
In Madingo, we say Hangli Male Kumatola Sena. But let me just say this to you. Okay? Listen to this.
Go ahead.
If they believe that Yombly is not their political party leader, she had no right to turn the party over to Joseph Boakai, right? It's just simple. So you believe that you're not going to be turned over, don't be turned over. You know, all of these political noises that people make, and talking about Charlene Bronsky, amen. You're talking about Yombly in Grand Bassa, and then you pluck out Charlene and think Charlene and Yombly can compete in Grand Bassa, amen. But I understand it's political season and these things are all for conversation, so we must have the conversation. But I'll give you a very short answer. Hey, those guys, I saw their press conference. I thought it was lame. I didn't. In fact, I just saw it for about 2 minutes. Okay, because it was noise to me. Okay, we know Musa Belete. I know Musa Belete. I know when it comes to his architecture, when it comes to these things, I know exactly what's going on. Sunday cannot be turned over by Yombly. Let it continue with Musa Belete and leave Yombly alone. We're fine. What I would do under court or not, what I can tell you, the rescue mission, with Yombly being a rescue mother, this particular thing is already in our hands.
Aliu,
yes.
Here's the thing. Councillor Charles Bronskin the late, we all know he was that leader of the Liberty Party. He funded that party. And that party is dear to the Bassa people. It is his daughter that is saying, let's go this way. And we know that politically speaking, Nyombli took over from him. He never supported the Unity Party of Bwaka. In fact, politically, he was like a thorn in the flesh of Bwaka. So for Nyombli to not be following Bronskin path, why would the people of Bassa follow her when they have been following Bronskin and she's now going by the way of Bronskin here?
I am deeply rooted in Grand Bassa and I do not want you to insult my people. To think that because Charles Bronskin founded Liberty Party, so even Charles Bronskin, grandchild, can just control all the Bassa people to go to where she want to go. I think that as an affront. Let me tell you this. Even while Charles Bronski was head of the Liberty Party, he only won Grand Bassa County. It's not, you can't say the Bassa people. Do you know that majority of the Bassa people supported George Weah in all of the elections from 2005 out to 2017? Majority of the Bassa people supported George Weah.
And they will do it again.
So the talk and the idea that because Charles Bronski
So
was...
does it mean that the whole Nyombli thing, no flesh on it, is the actual Babylon?
That's not what I said. I'm telling you what I am telling you. Okay? I am telling you that Nyombli and Shalin, they're not equal when we're discussing Bassa. They're not on the same rope. They're not on the same line. The kilometers are wide in between. They're not equal.
They are both members of the Liberty Party.
I like to disagree with Ali.
That's fine.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Come in.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me come in.
Go ahead,
Let
Jimmy.
me tell you that some of the political mistakes I've observed from Senator Kanga. When she was in leadership, she committed herself to supporting Boakai without getting the consensus of the Liberty Party. She unilaterally, she and her friend Dylan committed themselves. I think that was the first wrong move. She should have garnered her party support. And if she couldn't get it, then remain neutral until she keep her party together. I think committing to Boakai was a sacrifice of the party. And why would she sacrifice her party to support somebody else?
Reference out of the question he asked.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let me finish.
So why would she destroy her party by committing to someone outside the party instead of making sure the party's survival should be paramount to everything? And that's why I say she made a mistake as a political leader, and that is why she lost her seat at that. The next thing is, look how she got treated in the end. She was not picked for VP, and now they call her political godmother. That is just another adoration.
Rescue money.
Rescue money. That is just another some flowers they just throw in that way. How many times they will fool you? They fool you the first time, they fool you the second time. Talking about you rescue mother? What rescue mother? Huh?
Wow.
I beg you. Come on.
So Ali, before Maurice can come in, Ali, let me put it to you. The whole rescue mother thing. What does it mean? What is her role? How is she going to rescue Liberia as the mother of this rescue team that she has not been able to do as senator of a consequential county?
Okay, she has been able to do it. This rescue team is a campaign team. This rescue team is set up to deliver the votes, and she has done it in Grand Bassa County twice. She's won election twice in Grand Bassa County. So I don't know what you mean by she has not proven. This is the point of the rescue team. Get the country out of the hands of George Weah. And the way she's going to do it, first of all, she has not even set up her strategy yet. We have not seen that. We know Darius DeLon. We know what's his name from Lofa County. Several of them, including Grand Bassa County, we know they are with the rescue mother, and they are strategizing as to how she will give a great portion of her side to the Unity Party. And I'm talking Margibi, I'm talking Monserrado, I'm talking Riverside, I'm talking Grand Bassa. That is her target. I know for a fact. I got a text message that is the target.
Ali, let me hold you there. You shared an interesting point that I like for the discussion. You stated that Charles Bronski, as popular as he was with the Bassa people, he only won Bassa. Even though we do not only have Bassa-speaking people in Grand Bassa County alone. That was Bronski. But you are suggesting here that Nyombli, who is now popular compared to Bronski, can win or bring more Bassa people to the Unity Party and Boakai than Charles Walker Bronski. Do you really believe that?
Yes, I know that for a fact. And first of all, I didn't tell you Bronski was popular. I did not say that.
In Bassa he was.
No, okay. I'm saying he was popular with the Bassa people.
So here is what I'm telling you. Nyombli is a grassrooter. Nyombli is not only a Kanga, Nyombli is known from compound number 1 to compound number 5. There's a different, look at the class. Child Bromsky was of a different class to that of Yombly. Yombly is the everyday Bassa woman. That's different. But what you will also take note of is Yombly is not doing this thing as just Yombly. The rescue model has very popular people. Steve Zago of Lofa County is a very popular man. Yombly has Darius Dillon in the Monserrado County area, a very popular man. Yombly has popular people on her side. And I'm talking about in fact, the most renowned Liberty Party propagandists are with Yombly. So Yombly has an edge here.
And you are saying that Yombly will be able to bring more votes to Bwaka more than Joshua will bring to the CDC, because you said earlier that Joshua won majority of the Bassa people votes. You said that earlier.
At this particular moment in time, Yombly will. And the reason is simple. Yombly will. And the reason is simple. George Weah has already put his card on the table. George Weah has played and people have seen his hand. They know what he's worth. At that time, George Weah had the Bassa solidarity because he's also Bassa. So it was a competition when Salensa Diba decided to support Bromsky. So they had a divided vote between Diba being a Bassa man and Weah also being a Bassa man. So they had to divide the vote. Now, Weah has already played his hand and the Bassa people have seen what Weah is made of. So whatever popularity he had among the Bassa people, he has lost it. So Yombly has the upper hand at this moment.
And you think the daughter of Charles Bronsky is just Babla, and the Bassa people don't want to know anything about her, and she's not going to honor anything. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think you're making up your own statement. I didn't say they're not going to
asking you a question.
About her. Okay, what I'm telling you is the two people are of Grand Bassa County. One is an established, a known Grand Bassa citizen. And I'm not saying that Bronsky is not a Grand Bassa County citizen.
That's why you are suggesting that she's established.
Let's look at Yombly Pa, Dr. Kanga. Let's look at Yombly Grandpa. Yombly is rooted compared to the Bronsky. Not only that, when did Charlene start going to Grand Bassa County? Recently, after she got her law certificate and she realized she wanted to become representative one day of Grand Bassa County, she moved to Grand Bassa County. How can you compare the woman with Yombly who is rooted?
All right,
thank you. Thank you.
Evans.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, Mr. Aliu. One question. I want to ask you a question. So you think, well, all you say, Madam Kanga is rooted. So you think now the Bassa people will support the election of President Kun? Because
President Kun or Vice President?
I say President Kun because how long the Pape going to stay around? President Kun, you think the Bassa people going to support that? Now, what are you trying to tell me now?
You see, because I love it so much, answer this question. Eastman, there are a lot of questions I don't answer. And that's one of the questions you just asked. Okay? I do not know what will happen, whether Kun will even stay alive 3 years from now. And Kun doesn't even know. I do not know whether Joseph Boakai can live for another 10 years. I don't even know. So I can't tell you whether they will support President Kun. There's nobody in the race called President Kun.
Thank you. Evan Morris?
Thank you. I will say this quickly. I think one of the things that we're missing here, of all the people names that he called, the most consequential of those people is Darius Dillon. I think he has more political sway. He hasn't had a lot of political damage, even though he had one or two, mishaps. But I think he has a significant pull, especially in battleground Monserrado. So if anybody should be on the forefront, especially in Monserrado, should be Darius Dillon for Boyka. I will admit this, as a CDC sympathizer, I think Joseph Boyka has some momentum going, and I think he's made some good plays, especially bringing back Yombly into the fold. I think that was a coup for him, and I think it's a positive for him overall. I think so far in this whole election cycle, as things are right now, Boyka is the winner so far in terms of political play. But I would say this: when you're looking at strategy, we have what I like to say a cumulative majority wins the election. So from each county, they tabulate the vote, and whoever get the majority, whether it's 1, it's 10, they win. So we're just looking at regional politics. The Southeast is still President Weah's, base. He's going to get cumulative from the entire Southeast, maybe 80 to 85% of the vote, give or take. Boycott can't say the same thing for his stronghold in Lofa County, or maybe you're looking at, Mark Gibby, or not Bob Gibby, or Bapolu. George Weah is going to compete. Maybe he could get 60%. George Weah is going to get 40%. The president is strong in every region, every county in every county in that country. Boycott can't say the same thing about the Southeast. So that's why I keep looking at it, even though I'm a little concerned, but I'm kind of confident in myself, knowing that the president has a Southeast that's going to overwhelmingly vote for him, and he's going to chip away in all these different counties and these different regions. And overall, when the votes come out, he's gonna be the winner, because he's going to have a large majority in the Southeast, and then he's going to fight tooth and nail in other counties, and all of that is going to add up. So maybe a slim, win, or maybe slightly better than slim. So for me, I would say Joseph Boyka is, so far, he's doing a good job. I think the collaboration that they're putting together has been impressive. I will admit that. And I think, go ahead.
And Evans, I don't want to dismiss what you just said, right?
Right.
Whether or not at the end of the day it was translate into significant votes to give Boyka the edge, we wait to see that. All right, but we cannot dismiss the fact that despite Nyombli not being chosen, she's on the ticket. DeLon is supporting that's that she's on the ticket. She has endorsed that ticket, and DeLon is supporting that ticket. And also Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson will always deliver. It might not be as significant as he has been in the past because of the Tier 1 factor, because Tier 1 is running for president as we speak. He still has something going for him. So he's going to get something from Nima. Now he's going to get something from Grand Bassa County, his own county, the Lofa, Monserrato County. The Unity Party has been doing, better there. So he's in a good place. But the question I want to bring to you here quickly is the factor of the ALP, the Costa factor, the Benin factor. Costa, whether you liking or not, the guy is vicious. He can do so much damage. He came close to Boyka. He saw Boyka politically naked. He knows him. When he opens up on Boyka, do you think Boyka is so formidable now with Kun and Nyombli and DeLon and all that, and it would do no harm to him to make it to the second round? That's my question.
Thank you. Before I even answer your question, let me say this. I think in my own calculations, I think Prince Johnson will be a net neutral. And the reason I say that is because for every person that Prince Johnson will bring for Nima, there are people in a specific part of the country that will specifically vote against Joseph Boyka because Prince Johnson is supporting him. So I think he brings vote, yes, but you will have detractors simply because Prince Johnson is standing behind him. So for me, I think it will be a net neutral, because people will say, well, since Johnson is behind Boyka, I can't vote for Boyka. Believe it or not. So when you're talking about ALP, I will only really talk about Costa in terms of Monserrato. The same thing with Darius Dillon. Those two guys are popular. Their support cut across different tribes and age groups within Monrovia, especially Dillon. So I would say if Boyka can bring Costa back into the fold again, that would be another big coup. And so far, Costa has been quiet. So I'm assuming there's been some backdoor talks, and maybe he can bring him back into the fold. So I think Monserrato, if Boyka wins large in Monserrato, which I think will be almost impossible for him to do, it will be a tight race in Monserrato, maybe a slight edge for President Weah. But if they can, cultivate a group of supporters and people who are influential and get a good, strong showing in Monserrato, I think then things will look shaky for President Weah. But with Dillon and Costa really going all out for JMB in Monserrato, I think that's a sense for concern for some of us who sympathize with the CDC. I'll leave it there.
All right. A question for Aliyu Kamara and Jimmy, but I'll start with Jimmy first. Jimmy, the whole idea of sanction. I don't know. Let me emphasize before Aliyu comes after me here, whether it will have any impact, whether the voters will take that into consideration when they enter that booth. The U.S. government is saying anyone doing business with any of these sanctioned officials themselves rights to be sanctioned. The U.S. has sent a representative to Liberia, specifically from the office of the U.S. President Joe Biden. There's a gentleman called Katama Adam Dempster, who is now in the U.S. I don't know if he has left. Invited specifically, he's a human rights guy in Liberia, to have conversation with him. The question I'm bringing to you is that Bouaka is now working with Prince Johnson. Is there anything that can anger the international community to say, well, Bouaka is exercising poor judgment here, so we can, work things against him? Would that have an impact against him negatively?
Okay, let me first answer the question like this. Prince Johnson supported Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and he had sanctions, and nothing happened. He supported George Weah, and ain't nothing happened. So by him supporting Bouaka, that's not enough for something to happen. But I want to tell you about these sanctions. You see,
so Jimmy, why you are telling me is that John Brown was driving without seatbelt. No accident, nothing happened to him. Anthony said drove without seatbelt, so the same thing.
Apples and oranges.
And he will be okay. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Apples and oranges.
Just supporting Bouaka. But what will become a concern as Prince Johnson edges closer and closer to power? That's why I'm trying to tell you the idea that you are actually electing a President Kun is going to evoke another factor. Okay,
right.
That's going to evoke a whole different question. Right now, people talking about Bouaka, but what they don't see is the end game. What happens when Bouaka is not there and President Kun takes over? So people have to make this decision. But when it comes to sanctions and Liberians, today Nathaniel Fallow McGill has a Margibi festive. You have him be balling, having party everywhere in Margibi and in parts of Bomb. And this man is a sanctioned official. Liberian people, you know what they call sanctions. They sanction. I wasn't that. You don't know what they call sanction. That thing is at the international level. That's when it doesn't really trickle down to the masses. The masses only know what the man can do for them, and they are under the spell that he got money. How he got it, no one questioning that, but they say he got money and he's spending it, and so he's getting a lot of popular support. And this is why our people have to be they have to be made aware that just because somebody's giving you money today don't mean that it will do good for you tomorrow. But it takes education, it takes exposure, and that is what our people need so we can make good decisions about tomorrow. And we don't see that happening. There's no voter education. There's no awareness, civic education. There's no running on LBC to try to tell the people how to make a decision. So they are left to their stomach and to the poverty they face every day.
And Ali, I think you are satisfied with the answer. So let me add this to that. Talking about the same ticket, Mr. Kamara, the now current Vice President Joel Howard Taylor said, going after the Bouaka ticket, Liberians should be wary of the ticket on grounds that if ex-Vice President Bouaka wins the presidency and dies in office due to his poor health, it is Nima County Senator Prince Johnson that will run the presidency in disguise instead of Senator Jeremiah Kun. And then she asked this question, all right? And she was speaking to the press people. She said, this team that they are putting together on their side, the Bouaka team, we all know that the vice president is not well. Everybody knows it. And I just want to ask the press people one question. She continued. God forbid people elect Vice President Bouaka as president of Liberia and he dies in the seat. Who will be president? The crowd answer Prince Johnson. What the whole idea of preaching this death, what do you make of it, first of all? And does she have a point that is the Prince Johnson that will be a de facto president?
Look, I've always knew Auntie Joelle to be a very irrational woman, a woman that has no moral compass, a woman that is a bad bad representative or bad example for womanhood anywhere in the world. I think Joe Howard Taylor is a disgrace.
Statements are too strong. You know, bad
Yeah, I know.
representation for woman.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. I'm
no,
coming.
No, you have to take that back. I know what
Yeah.
womanhood means.
Everything else except the womanhood is unacceptable.
Please take that womanhood back. Focus on Labrador. We're not tolerate for you to use that language. That woman.
What is womanhood?
Well,
we know the connotations, Mr. Kamara.
I say she does not represent. She's a bad representative.
Womanhood.
Does she represent it? Does she represent it?
She does. She has a lot of girls.
I have not criticized womanhood. I said she does not represent womanhood. Right. What's wrong with that?
All right, go ahead.
That's my opinion. That's my story, and I stick with it, and I will die with it. Now
go ahead and focus on that. It's not associated with that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. So here is the thing. Who is Joe Howard Taylor to ask a question in case Joseph Boakai dies, who takes over? In case George Weah dies, who takes over? Do you want a Joe Howard Taylor president in Liberia? I know Joe Howard Taylor. We know her from the days of the NPRAG. We know she has been milking the Liberian government through Charles Taylor. We know she was deputy bank governor at the Central Bank of Liberia at the time. At the same time, she was First Lady of the Republic of Liberia in contravention of the Liberian Constitution. We know that. We know that this woman was loving to Charles Taylor, was in Bangor when we had a small boy unit. Okay? We had a small boy unit, SBU. 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. She saw them in Charles Taylor compound with AK-47 dragging on them. This woman, her husband would then go to decapitate and amputate people in Sierra Leone, cross over to Ivory Coast, brutalize, kill hundreds of people, go to Guinea, kill hundreds of people. We're not talking about Liberia, because we're talking at least 300,000, which he was solely responsible for.
Not solely. Not solely.
Yeah, I'm making my own point. You want me?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So for a woman with such a record behind her, she should be ashamed of herself. I'm embarrassed to even see her or hear her talk about Prince Johnson. Now the question about somebody electing Prince Johnson, amen, Anthony. Anthony, you're one of the brightest guys I know on social media. Amen. Anthony, your father, you may look like your father, but you are not even your father. Not to talk about a Jeremiah Kuhn who is not related to Prince Johnson anyway, anyhow. And you would think that by electing a Jeremiah Kuhn, you have to elect a Prince Johnson because they're tied together. Is that an intellectual or educated analysis to think that, you know? Now listen to this. 2 times Jeremiah Kuhn has challenged Prince Johnson. Twice Jeremiah Kuhn has supported Joseph Boakai over Prince Johnson. When Prince Johnson went to support CDC, Jeremiah Kuhn refused to support CDC. Why didn't you guys say then that because of Jeremiah Kuhn, there were going to be war in Liberia because Prince Johnson was going to the CDC?
Why did he expel him for supporting another political party in a constitution? Why did he expel him?
You see, you're bringing question in question. My answer to your question about why, about the whole Prince Johnson thing, if you ask me, I said the whole thing is a nonsense. It's a nonsense. It has no iota of understanding. It's just a lot of noise. Prince Johnson is not Jeremiah Kuhn. Prince Johnson will not be Jeremiah Kuhn.
Let me come here.
When you look at my son and I look alike. But when I look at my son every day, I see a completely different personality. He's not me.
Dark and blonde hair, Mr. Kamara. He has some of your traits and personalities in.
But because
you know that, right?
DNA, Jeremiah Kuhn
of course.
DNA.
They have he has Prince Johnson political DNA. Prince Johnson is a vision bearer. He's very Prince Johnson political vision. But let me come here, Mr. C, if you allow me.
Go ahead.
The question, the thing with Joy Howard Taylor, her husband is far away in London serving his prison term. So his influence has diminished over the years significantly. Prince Johnson is sitting right in Liberia, and his influence in Nima County is still very much felt. So when you're talking apple and oranges, it's not the same. At least in terms of magnitude, it's not the same. So when we are talking about Prince Johnson should be
He
where
support that
Charles Taylor is.
CDC.
People like say that again.
He support that CDC. Prince Johnson was with CDC.
Yes, but he was never close to power. Never. Even with Ellen
okay.
Johnson time, he was never close to power. And that's one of his complaints, that George Weah is not giving him, the kind of sway that he wants over his government. You know what kind of money CDC gave Prince Johnson for his support? They bought Prince Johnson support. They negotiated, allotments for different ministerial positions for Prince Johnson, and he got all of those things. So when Prince Johnson is talking about, George Weah, he doesn't care about the people. He doesn't that. What the money that CDC gave him? Did he go share with the people in Nima? And he finished a university with it. Even the money they sent to the community college in Nima County, he took it and used it on his university.
This is when focus on liberation make correction. Do you have evidence that CDC gave Prince Johnson money? Do you have the evidence?
I would say allegedly, like the other caller on the line said, the alleged money that he took. But my point here, Mr. Kamara, the reality is, we in Liberia know that Prince Johnson is the shadow that is behind Jeremiah Kuhn. We know that very clearly. Anybody else can come from Nima County. I have links. Hold on, Mr. Kamara, please. Let me finish. I have links to Nima County. This is not a tribal thing. Anybody else, Tawan Gonglo, Jeremiah Womplo, somebody with integrity, a great son of Nima County, I may have even been in favor of that ticket. But not somebody that is tied to Prince Johnson. He caused too much hurt in our country, and a lot of people have bad feelings towards Prince Johnson for what he did. Same thing would be said if George Weah paid George Bullitt. Even on this very platform, Mr. Jai will have a problem with it because George Bullitt affected his life personally. So a lot of people have strong emotions on both sides. So you can't dismiss it. It's valid.
Let me come in, Anthony. I've heard this argument, and I'm going to go out on a limb right here, that Prince Johnson will be coming close to power because of Jeremiah Kuhn. Just the other day when Jeremiah Kuhn was running for senator, Prince Johnson was supporting another candidate, not Jeremiah Kuhn. Jeremiah Kuhn just happened to win over that candidate. Now,
you mean with Ida Gonglo Weah? He was not supporting Ida Gonglo Weah the last time. That was his opponent.
The candidate that Prince Johnson was supposed to not win, and Jeremiah Kuhn won. And Jeremiah Kuhn even announced this. The thing about what Prince Johnson said after the election was, the man I supported wasn't winning, but the man, I think, called him his cousin or something, some kind of pet name he gave him, like my cousin or my little brother or something like that. So there is some influence, but I don't know how much influence he has over Jeremiah Kuhn. I think we need to evaluate Jeremiah Kuhn upon his own merits.
Jimmy, you're trying to minimize the influence Prince Johnson has.
No, he's trying to make sense.
Let me learn. This is a political party we're talking about at the MDR. The funnel is Prince. Jeremiah Kuhn could not have become the political leader without Prince Johnson's political blessing. And you think Kuhn does not recognize that? That is a significant influence.
Great point, Mr. Shia.
He stands a chance to become vice president if the Bwakunti case is elected. And like Joel Howard Taylor put it, if God forbid something should happen to Joseph Boakai, he becomes president because of a decision Prince Johnson makes. That is significant. So don't minimize that. So,
right.
And don't let you sway you from your became senator. Hold on, gentlemen. Before you became
gentlemen. From what we see, this guy is enthusiastic about him being the pick for Boakai, for he sees opportunity. This guy has been in politics. So if there's anyone he will give credit for this opportunity, it is Prince Johnson, and that is a significant influence.
You can only assume.
The question I want to ask, though, Aliu, I like when you are fighting. I like fight.
You can only assume. You're assuming. Everything just has assumption.
Here's the thing. Prince Johnson said people from the Southeast, they are not good for leadership. Leadership not good for them. They are bad leaders. Jeremiah Kuhn's father is a global man from Sino County.
But
this is
Jeremiah
the
is
man
not
now.
from Southern
Listen, let me learn, my friend.
Okay, go
This
ahead.
is the man now. He's using this Southeasterner by DNA and pushing him. Is he confusing us, or he's confusing himself, or what? He's just saying something to please himself? Let me hear your take. You claim to be a smart guy.
I have never claimed that. What I want you to know first of all here is Jeremiah is not from the Southeast. Jeremiah father may be from the Southeast. Jeremiah is an Imbayan. That's one.
Are you a traditional man?
Well,
it depends. It depends.
You are your father's son, Mr. Kamara.
It depends on what you call. Listen to me. Listen. You have your county of origin and you have your county of birth. You can choose your county of origin under Liberian law, or you can choose your county of birth. My county of origin is Lofa County. I was born in Magibi County because there was no hospital in my village. They had to cross the family to bring me to Division 10. That's where I was born. Okay? So I'm a Magibian. You can't say because my parents came from Lofa, so I must be from Lofa because tradition says so. No. Now, remember, we have two people that bore a child, a man and a woman. Both of them. That's why you see somebody say, I'm from Bong and Nimba. Tawan Gongo come on your show all the time and tell you that. He's from two counties. Why does he say that? Because he acknowledges his fellow side. He has two sides. So now, your question about the Southeastern thing, right? Look, I don't think Prince Johnson should have made that statement, but I'm not Prince Johnson, and I hope that he will clarify what he meant. I don't think statement against any region in Liberia or any individual Liberian citizen in that regard is appropriate. Even if he was emotional, even if he was upset, when he makes such a statement, being Prince Johnson, people make reference to 1990, and therefore he should not have said that, in my opinion. But you should check with Prince Johnson. You're a press man. Get his number. Kevin was on a few minutes ago, and Prince Johnson will come on here and make a clarity to that statement.
But it's not the first time, Mr. Kamara, he said disparaging thing about the Southeast, many times. And also, George Weah, his origin is in the Southeast, but he didn't live most of his life in the Southeast. So when Prince Johnson is referring to George Weah as a Southeastern president, he spent most of his life outside the country as a whole.
George Weah can explain that.
No, but Prince Johnson, who you been protecting on this platform and backing, he's been a divisive person. They know they have no stronghold in the Southeast, so they can burn all the bridges they want. That's why I say the Southeast will be the equalizer in this election. Watch and see.
Evans, he have never backed Prince Johnson, maybe until now, because Prince Johnson is supporting his.
I'm not backing Prince Johnson.
The thing I want to say here, that statement Prince Johnson is making, I disagree with him. To put an entire group of people in a box like that is just unfortunate. Now, yes, the surprise.
No, but let me say that Prince
Johnson wife, right? Prince Johnson wife is also from Southtown. Prince Johnson wife from the Southeast, from Southtown.
He could be speaking in context then.
No context. Prince Johnson is all saying.
You agree with me, man? You agree with me.
He said the other kind of Boston people the other day. He's
I don't know.
I have close proximity to Prince Johnson. He always making the kind of generalized comment. That's typical. That's what he does typically all the time. That's the other day he said something about Boston people, and that doesn't apply to all Boston people. But he will make these blanket statements. He's fond of doing it. I don't know. He as a politician, he should know how divisive these things sound.
I think he's more of a soldier.
Yeah. Jimmy,
he did in politics. My friend.
Jimmy, let me. I don't know if you heard the Eugene Namo interview on ERBC when he went after the former vice president and the ticket. Did you listen to the interview?
I listened to parts of it. Yes, I did.
Okay, so what do you make of all that he said? Is that anything that's going to stick?
Eugene Nambe, I think he's the strategist for the CDC.
Mm-hmm, he is.
And I say that because his
No,
his
he actually is.
He is now. He's a campaign strategist.
He's
Yeah.
a strategy. He is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So his are strategically voiced to gain some traction or some sympathy at certain junctures. Okay, so all of what he said, I think it's just all part of politics, and whatever comes to his mind that will benefit the CDC is what he will say. You know, and he's a survivor. He knows how to survive in any instance. He survived in LA government. He was CDC and went over to UP, no problem. He went back to CDC. He knows how to stay afloat. And so these statements that he's making, I think it's just part of the political agenda of the day. That's it, to attack the opponent.
That's true. That Namwe guy, I don't know how he does it. The guy was with Charles Taylor during NPFL days. And then he landed in the transitional government of Judy Bryant. And then Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, even though he was a sedition at the time. And now he's back home with George Weah. I don't know how he plays. But the thing I'm talking about here is that this is a guy that was in the Unity Party government. He became information minister. He got close to Ellen. Ellen used him to damage or to minimize CDC. So he's informed about these two governments that just exchanged, right? And so he got close. In fact, he said that he reported to Joseph Walker when he was youth and sport minister. He has sufficient knowledge of Joseph Walker having a supervisory role to the group of 77. He narrated the budget that Joseph Walker received up to 20 million in the 12 years period. And so, I mean, is anything coming from Eugene Nambe, any Liberian to listen to vote against Joseph Walker, knowing the man Nambe himself? That's the question I'm asking.
No, Mister. Let me answer quickly.
Yeah,
I think we can. A broken clock is right twice a day. So whether you like Eugene Nambe or not, some of the things that he's saying are valid. You know, when he's talking about what has JMB rescued? Why has he rescuing his entire political career? So that's a valid question, because people will say, "Oh, we are running on a record now." JMB is also running on a record. He served as vice president for 12 years. So we have to put on a microscope his record. What did he do?
I agree with Namwe that Joseph Walker has never rescued anything in Liberia as a leader in our country.
Maybe if somebody was drowning in a lagoon, Jordan B. swam and rescued them, perhaps. But we don't see anything that he's rescued. You saw LPMC, that he was there and went downhill. You saw the group of 77. What happened to it? Right. So when we're talking about somebody being a rescuer, for example, if a company is going down and you have somebody like a Cummins who will come in there and rescue that company. If you have an agency that is going down, you have somebody who will go in there and rescue that agency and bring it back to life and make it more vibrant than it ever was. That's somebody who is a rescuer. If you're looking at it in a more technical sense, you have your firefighters and the people in the ambulance. They can come and rescue somebody in a dire situation. JMB has never been known as a rescuer. He's saying that he's coming to rescue the country for George Weah because George Weah is performing so poorly. But when he was there, he was a park car. What experience does he have, as a vice president, let alone somebody who was close to the presidency to come and rescue the country? He distinguished himself to be a park car, meaning that he had nothing to do with the government. He was not involved. They didn't give him any power, any assignment. He was only parked, sitting down, collecting dust. So how can he rescue something that he was never knowledgeable on how to even run, let alone to rescue from somebody who is mismanaging it? So I think what he said, especially in that part about the lack of rescue history on JMB, is a valid point, and we must run on that record against him. He has no record of rescuing anything. Most of his appointments, he failed at it. Look at our agriculture sector. What impact did JMB leave in our agriculture sector to say, oh, you see that thing that we're doing, that form of farming, JMB, he invented it. He brought it so we can use it and make our agriculture better. He hasn't done anything in terms of leaving an impact in our society in all the positions that he served. He hasn't done anything. I will let Mr. Ali rebuff me. I want to hear it.
Is JMB, based on his record and leadership in so many capacities that he had the opportunity to serve, a qualified person to rescue Liberia?
You know, I love Everett. Everett is my son.
That's true, Mr. Kamara. I accept
And
that.
that's why I love it. You know, the beginning has euphoria. He hears a lot of stuff. He's talking, yap.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, Joseph Boakai has not done anything. How do you know that?
Rescue.
You just heard that. Everything you say are things you heard. Anything I tell you about Boakai will be things that I lived. You see the difference? But what was your question?
Where did you live? Because before I lived, I said, did you live? Because I'm ready to refute it.
Right, right.
Let's talk
Where
about
did you live and see Boakai do?
Let's talk about LPMC. I will start with LPMC. Because I was a child back in the days when Joseph Numa Boakai was managing director of LPMC. We know that Joseph Numa Boakai, through Joseph Numa Boakai, Liberia began to export coffee under Joseph Numa Boakai. We saw Joseph Numa Boakai. We saw Joseph Numa Boakai add value to agriculture in Liberia.
I have to get a better camera.
Under Joseph Numa Boakai, my grandfather actually bought his first pickup from making farm, sold cocoa and coffee. Under Joseph, I'm just giving you the more pragmatic, experience. There is the sophisticated part of it, but let me just go as simple as I can possibly go. We saw Joseph Boakai. There was a man in Lower Country called Valley Sanon who could wash his pickup truck. He had like 15 pickup trucks who could buy beer because he didn't drink. He bought beer to wash his pickup with beer. He got all the money from agriculture in Lower Country. If you want to know about Joseph Boakai, go inside Nimba Country to those who lived before Ever was born. Ask them about Joseph Boakai in Nimba Country. Ask them about Joseph Boakai in Bon County, the agricultural development programs in Bon County, Nimba County, and Lofa County, where Joseph Boakai selected as a breadbasket for Liberia. These three counties did not know what you call Pusawa. The Pusawa were in the Magibi County area and Grand Bassa and Maserati County, the Firestone Rice, because those people were feeding themselves. See, when we just talking, oh, that person do this, that person do that. We must first know about this person before we begin to talk. I lived when Joseph Boakai was actually improving. When things came, when y'all came back, you said you were PRC, People Redemption Council, that's when you started pushing Joseph Boakai around. And that's when things started to go downhill.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let me refute that your argument about what he was doing at LPMC. The very reason why the agricultural minister suggested to raise the price because farmers in Liberia are suffering. Joseph Boakai at LPMC could not help the farmers. The farmers were still suffering under his leadership at LPMC. Okay.
Give me some
he never reprieved them. He never rescued them. All this euphoria about somebody can rescue at an advanced age, ailing is a euphoria. It's euphoric. He cannot rescue himself. The place he at now, he can't rescue himself before he will rescue you and me. It is euphoric. Just look to President Kun, but don't look to Boakai.
You give me no fights. You only spoke your feeling right now.
I just told you at LPMC, the farmers have problems. It is documented the issues the farmers had under judges.
But listen, you don't. I gave you names and places. If you say Joseph Boakai, blah 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 blah, give me some facts.
All right,
I just quoted you facts,
gentlemen.
That was opinion.
Gentlemen, let us leave it there. Let us leave it there and take a short break. When we come back, Musa Belete is talking politics. He's going after Fagon. He's going after the Spoon Network, and he's going after Stanton Witherspoon. We will be right back. folks, we are back with you, and we want to touch on the last issue on our menu, gentlemen. Musa Belete was in the news. He went after Spoon. He is accusing and suspecting the Spoon Network and its CEO of trying to support the candidacy of Jose Yamambuaka. And so he tried to go after the record of Stanton and the network. I don't know what's it said with this politician. This Musa man was like taking shower on that platform the last time I checked. And now he turns around because he feels threatened by this platform, almost like leaning Joseph Boakai, at least for the CEO, more than like leaning Joseph Boakai. And so he's going after Stanton's record. And we know Musa own troubles or allegation against him. And he didn't stop there. He went after Fagon. That Fagon is saying things that he knows are not true because he's been paid to do so. Gentlemen, does Musa have legitimate reason for being tough on the Spoon Network, Fagon, and Stanton here? I will start with Aliu. Let's bring it home. Aliu, let's hear from you. This is your brother. This is my brother.
Let me tell you, Musa, what's happening with Musa is fear. He's shaking, he's shivering, he's scared. You know, this thing has been going on Spoon for a long period of time. Why is it just now that Musa is trying to now stand up to Spoon? It's fear. You know, the Youngblood situation that he started, he didn't know it was a mistake. When he was beating this woman down, using his money and his whatever, his power, and he did not know that this day was going to come when he was going to be furious. He was going to be scared. Everything this guy is doing is out of fear. Okay? Now he realized that he believed in his opinion. Now, because of Spoon, Youngblood did not support them. Youngblood did not agree to go with them because they kept on pointing out what he had done to Youngblood, what he had done to the Liberty Party. So he is thinking that Spoon has swayed Youngblood not to support them. And now he's looking. Look, Musa, let me tell you, one of the smartest men in Liberia is Musa. What Musa is showing you, if you pay attention, he's showing that he's looking at the wave. And he's trying to blame other people. Now, he's not going to blame himself. Now, he started a fight. He started a struggle. He brought all this technicality. He's changing constitution, kicking out the most popular person in their party, kicking them out of the party, doing all kinds of stuff without understanding, without paying attention to the repercussions.
He went to court and he won the case. I don't know why.
But we know that. He fought this woman all the way through all the court process. He did. Even through the election commission, he fought her. Now he's realized, the way I'm looking at this, it's not easy. So what he do, when somebody's getting drowned, even the leaf on top of the water, they get grabbed. That's what Musa is doing. Now Musa looking for someone to pick fight with. He's looking for someone to put the blame on. Now he's going to tell Cummings, you know what? This happened because of Spoon. That's all he's doing right now. He's only showing you fear.
And are you suggesting that if Stanton Williams Spoon, who we know is in a huge legal trouble, according to the U.S. government, secured significant money fraudulently from people in the U.S., if Stanton should say endorse or support Boakai, and he went on record that in this election he will not be neutral, he will pick somebody. He will put his mouth or his money where his mouth is. We suppose that if he should decide to support Boakai, he's going to put money. Will Boakai accept a support from an indicted person who is a criminal defendant in a U.S. court? Will he accept that? More than likely he will. I mean, Prince Johnson is indicted after all.
So why you ask the question if you already got the answer?
I may answer my question, please.
Okay, for the benefit of the audience, because that's Tabata you can do. No, let me tell you something. We don't know.
What's the definition of Tabata?
I want to answer my question. Now you interrupted me. Dennis, the man is interrupting me.
It was a rhetorical question.
Okay, so now we don't know whether Stanton Witherspoon supports Joseph Yuma Boakai.
I agree.
We don't know whether he intends to support Joseph Yuma Boakai. We know he has a talk show. We know every now and then he has different perspectives. He has different views. He has different opinions. But everyone, that's what we know. We also know that he, as a Liberian, has a right to his opinions and to his analysis. Okay.
Can you please add that indicted?
Stanton Witherspoon was not indicted by Liberian government. Stanton Witherspoon is not in any legal crisis with Liberia.
Stanton Witherspoon talks Liberian politics, right?
Stanton Witherspoon has not been adjudicated and he's not been found guilty.
No, it was Latana McGill, but Joanne B said he should step down.
So what we are saying to you right here, we have no issues with Latana McGill. We're never even talking about him. What we are saying to you here is that Stanton has the right to his opinion. He's on a platform as one of the panelists. He has the right to say what he wants to say. And Musa Belede can bluff all he wants. He cannot take Stanton to court for speaking his right. Under Liberian law, first of all, that is not possible. And Musa Belede does not have the wherewithal to contact the United States government to sanction or to stop someone from speaking. America doesn't do that. Thirdly, Musa Belede lacks the moral compass, no rectitude, as a matter of fact, to talk about somebody else's criminal character.
And Aliyu, I will not allow you to go without commenting on it. This is our final topic, gentlemen. Let me brief. The other aspect I see is the ANC. Cummings is quoting Robert Einstein. He didn't see anybody to quote. That's his right. I don't fault him for that, right? But he's talking about
Albert.
You can be the same thing over and over and expecting different results. He claims to be the claimant. Stanton is indicted and he has a platform. This guy said he has resigned. I'm not resigned. He has relinquished, the title of CEO and to somebody to run. And then we see the guy there all the time. And we have the bunch of ANC folks are there. Cummings is preaching accountability. He's against stealing. He uses the word stealing. The U.S. government is accusing Stanton of stealing. And ANC folks say that. Francais in particular. What does that say about whether or not they actually talking about their accountability in a truthful sense? I mean, are there standards they should abide by, or it doesn't matter, or whatever?
Is that question for me?
I think this has nothing to do with Ellis Cummings. It has nothing to do with anything, as a matter of fact. Again, Spoon Network was not indicted by the United States. It has something to do
with a political institution.
No. Now listen.
Whose members are with a platform that is tainted, right? And that has done something allegedly criminal, and they are in bed with that particular network because it benefits, in their opinion, their candidates, their candidates, of political interest. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, in bed with a network. I don't know where you took that phrase, or what kind of attachment they have to be enough to call them being in bed. But what I can tell you is this is political season. In as much as I do not support the ANC, Stanton Witherspoon still has the largest platform in Liberia, where the voters are. Mm-hmm. Any pundit or surrogate can do at this moment to get the message crossed to the voting population. I think it's wise. I think it's smart. There's nothing anywhere in the world that says Spoon Network.
And so to hell with standards.
There is nothing in the world that says Spoon Network is a criminal network. They are on Spoon Network.
Yeah, let me chime in here.
Yeah, Jimmy, quickly, please.
Okay, so we have to understand that Spoon Network is not a news media. Okay, there is more largely for entertainment, and they are engaged with the local Liberian politics from the day to day. But there's never been an accountability criteria in their deliberations. Okay, there's no accountability there. People say things, and it may be true and not true. Everything that you hear from the Spoon Network, take it with a grain of salt because it may need to be corroborated by evidence. but because it's there for entertainment purposes, it is there. So just because so the reason what I'm curious that Musability feels offended by what they say about him on Spoon Network, because they go after various characters, various people they go from time to time, and Musability himself has been on Spoon Network several times trying to defend or promote various issues. So the fact that he felt his name is being denigrated by Fangon and also by Stanton, it shouldn't come as a surprise to him. I'm a little bit taken aback that he says he's going to launch an attack on them. If I'm ready to fight you, Anthony, I don't tell you I'm ready to fight you. You will just see me fighting you.
Right.
I have to tell you I'm ready to fight you. So when I see this showcase,
maybe because you are not a giant, Jimmy. You are not a giant.
Okay, if I see this big, I'm like, you blowing air. If you're gonna do something, just do it. So when we see all that, just know it's propaganda. It's there to blow air. If you're gonna do something, go do it. Not come up with a statement. And so that's how I look at it. That's nothing but air, fluff, puff, nothing.
Thank you. Ellis, there are two issues I raised that, the Musa thing and then the ANC thing, and ANC preaching accountability, preaching standards, now doing the same thing over and over. Does it not undercut their message of political righteousness, for lack of better word? Your take.
Miss Sia, I hope you're getting me clear, ma'am. I don't know if my connection is clear. Are you getting me clear, or am I breaking?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I would say this. This is why some of us, we prefer this platform amongst any other platform that's out there. Specifically because you and Mr. Ja, I'm sure you guys have your political leanings, but you always, reserve it, even though sometimes we can try to interpret your analysis, but you never just outright goes and support another political party where everybody can see it, when it's so glaring for most people to see that you are favoring so and so political party. That's why we come here. Even when we have 1,000 people watching Spoon, if I see football, let me say football, focus on Liberia, notification in my YouTube, I click on it immediately. I leave whatever is going on Spoon, because I value this platform in terms of your objectivity and your balancedness over any other platform. So when it comes to people being on the pay leading, it's fine. We have people on this platform all the time who are seditious, like Mr. Gilman. He's a seditious who hosts a show on this network. So we have to be fair. So this platform does give a voice to partisan members, and that's fine. But the two hosts who carry themselves as neutral, they never espouse any favor for one political party all the time. When it comes to Stanton, I've said this a long time, and some of us, we cry on morality and we cry on righteousness. I said, how can people be conversating with this guy so joyfully and so nonchalantly, as if to say he's not federally indicted? This is a guy who all of the other co-defendants in his case has already pled guilty. They're only waiting sentencing. So you say all the other people who you are in a thing with, they're guilty by their own admission, but you are not guilty. Stanton asked for a continuance in his case, meaning they're going to go back later on, to really, go to trial and all of that stuff. That's why you see he's doing all of this thing, hurry, so that he can make maximum impact in the least amount of time. So it's a hit piece. It's a hit job. I think Kev Hassan said it a long time ago that Stanton said, quote unquote, he wants to F the government. He wants to F this government up, for lack of better term. So that's his intention. Whatever went wrong with he and George Weah and the CDC people, he want to use his ill-gotten gains to do damage to this government before the election. We all can see that. So Musa Benedict saying that, I agree with him. Sometimes the wrong character can say the right thing, but he was right in terms of not associating himself with a criminally indicted man on his platform, because they can clearly see now that Stanton is clearly favoring JMB over all the other political parties. I'll leave it there.
Thank you, gentlemen. Time's a fast span. Let's get a minute closing each. Let's start with the Waka supporter here, Mr. Kamara. You're doing great today. You try to be on point.
I do great every day, Anthony. I don't need a
You
compliment.
came to fight, but one thing you forgot, I'm a descendant of the legendary Joan Nimlin. You know, we won every battle there was. Go ahead, brother.
First of all, when did Musa Belete realize that Mr. Witherspoon was a criminal indictee?
I know, right?
Musa Belete, since the indictment of
Musa was on speed dial. I mean, Musa have been here many times. He always come here. But with Spoon, the guy was like on speed dial, man.
You know, he was on there throughout this process. Even the time the Youngblade thing was going on, when they were sure that Youngblade was going to agree to go with communists, Musa had not said anything disrespectful to Spoon until that announcement was made when Youngblade endorsed Joseph Yuma Boakai. Musa Belete lost it. That's when everything went downhill. Okay? And now he got to find someone to blame. But listen, great show. Mr. Eastman, look, I love you, man. I enjoy always being with you. I enjoy when I deliberately cut you up the way your face can. The way your face can let up, I can really enjoy it. And that's why I do it most of the time, you know? Hey, MS, I think you are on a learning curve. You are going to learn one day, but I need you to calm down and don't think that you know it yet. Because it took us 30, 40 years to understand these things. You're not going to get it in 5 years' time. You need to take your time and get there. Don't be too over-exuberant. So, gentlemen, look, great show. Anthony Shea, I think you did a great job today. You did not come here with loaded questions. And by loaded question, I mean questions that you already have your mind as to what the answer must be. And because you don't get the answer as you want it, therefore you keep pushing the same question, thereby agitating people. I think you tried to walk a fine line today, and you're still away from that. And it was a great show. Let us not do this heuristic generalization. Let us not transfer crime from one person to another. Let everybody take their own cross. For those of you who are Christian, Jesus said, take your own cross and follow me. He didn't take anybody else's cross. So take your own cross. Don't put everything on Prince Johnson. And don't put everything in Jeremiah.
What Jesus said, Jesus bear our cross. He bear our cross for our sin.
Take your cross and follow me. Go ahead.
Jimmy, your cousin.
Yeah, it have been an amusing show as usual. I want to warn Liberian people. You will see people talking up here and in multimedia land. Not everything they say is going to be true, and sometimes they have a hidden agenda, and that's why they say what they do. You will have to use your own mind and research to know, to be able to distinguish, to discern what is really true, what really should happen. Liberia is at the crossroads today. We're having elections that are coming, and this elections will, whoever you vote for will be there for the next 6 years. Okay, now don't just vote because somebody you like somebody. That doesn't guarantee he or she will do what you want to do. Usually you need to look at somebody's track record to determine what they will do. And to find someone's track record, you will have to research. Where were they before? Were they actually there? Where they weren't there? Okay. And that is the only way to tell future actions of anybody is there by the past record. So a lot of people, I noticed that I was just in Liberia, and I see a lot of people beginning to fall to Joseph Boakai, and that is because they don't like the performance. They don't like the performance of the CDC government. But have they evaluated who they're getting in Joseph Boakai? Joseph Boakai right now is ailing. He may not even go on the campaign trail. Okay, so here it is. You are most likely electing whoever will be his chief of staff, or you're electing President Kuhn. And I'm not saying anything wrong with any of those. I'm just trying to say this is who you are actually getting. Okay, the old man is going to be absent. So just understand that. Okay. Now, what are your other alternatives? You have, of course, the CDC government. Will they change? Will they become better? You have Cummings. Cummings is promising to change. He's a new person in the race. He doesn't have any record in Liberia, but he does have international record. Should we take a chance with him? We see Gongo. I can tell you about Gongo. When we're in college, we revered Gongo. We always respected Gongo, even while we were students, because he's always been a man of high integrity. That's how Gongo always was from the time I've been knowing him. So we can tell you, if you let Gongo go, Gongo is going to do what he says he's going to do, and he is to sweep out, to clean up the place. Okay, so when you're going to make this decision, you really need to think about it, because it's going to affect you and your generation for at least another 6 years and longer. And that's my closing.
Thank you, Jermaine. Well said. Mr. Morris, you're closing.
Thank you, Mr. Steer. And I want to say to Mr. Kamara, and by extension, Mr. Eastman, I respect you guys. It's always a pleasure to be on the platform with the elders, and we learn a lot from you guys. So, Mr. Kamara, let me just say this: thank you for your advice. I take that to heart. I learned a lot of things on this platform, especially from Mr. Jai and Mr. Sear. Mr. Jai always used to come with this old parable. That's something that he needs to start doing again, because he always comes with some real profound parables that I like to use in my own personal life. But I learned a lot on the platform, and you guys give me the opportunity to voice my opinions here. It really means a lot to me as a young person. So, Mr. Kamara, I might be a little forceful in my delivery, but it's never intended for any disrespect or to be seen as demeaning to anybody. Just trying to put some passion in it. But let me say this: when we come, like Mr. Eastman said, when it comes to discerning good news, people who watch Fox News all the time, they have a political bias, and they only want to hear. They put themselves in a bubble to only hear the things that they like to hear. So when we come to different platforms, those of us who have some modicum of intellect, we go to the place where we see to be the most balanced. It may not be always 50-50. It might be a little tilted in one way or the other. But Focus on Liberia for me is the most balanced platform. So when you get people on Spoon who are, I will not call anybody political or anything, because we got a little so and so the last time. But people who are political merchants, they're going out, they'll look for favor, or people buy the favor, and then they go out there and espouse political rhetoric to go for or against another political party. And that's what Stanton is doing. And I think the people in the government in Liberia can see that he's actually having some sway. The way they've been bombarding, the CDC government, especially Mr. Cummings, he's really doing a number on the political scene in Liberia. Stanton with this one, and I think it's a disservice, and it brings a bad name to people in media platform like Focus on Liberia, other platforms. The ambassador said the same thing. People sit down in America and just make up things and spread it in the country, and it has a propensity to cause this, misinformation and even erupt in violence. So for me, I would say this election, George Weah has to listen to the people. The reality is he hasn't performed up to par. He hasn't performed up to par. The people still love him, but the reality is he's lost some support. I would say that as a citizen sympathizer. That's why I'm only a sympathizer and not a full-throated, citizen, because I think that I love this president, and I think that I have hopes that he could do better. He's done some good things, but the reality is the people's lives have not improved significantly since he became president of this country. But to tell you that Joseph Boyka is the best alternative to George Weah, I would say no. He is not the best alternative. The people around him, yes, the people around him were there for 12 years, and the Liberian people cried, and they overwhelmingly supported George Weah in 2017. So Joseph Boyka government was nothing to write home about. The Liberian people, gave that mantle to George Weah because of the poor performance of the Unity Party. Bringing back Joseph Boyka is bringing back the Unity Party. If George Weah will not be president, fine. I'm a patriotic Liberian. I want to see what's best for our country. But it can't be Joseph Boyka. Maybe a Cummings, maybe a Gongo, but not Joseph Boyka. So go and vote your conscience in Liberia during the October election. But please look at records. If you're looking at George Weah 12 or 6 years, look at Boyka 12 years, twice the time. See what he accomplished in his 12 years. Thank you. I will leave it there, Mr. C.
Vote for Boyka. Thank you.
Thank you, Evans. Thank you, Jimmy. And thank you, Mr. Kamara. The choice is with the people. And the people must decide and they must decide their fate. Whatever decision they make, the benefits or the consequences will be their portion. I know one thing, I will be here. Focus on Liberia will be here. We gave you the platform to listen, get educated, and get informed, and make the informed decision. We know 4 men, at least for now. We are Gonglo, Boaka, and Cummins, at least for now. So your choices are right there for you to decide. What will you be looking at? What they've done in the past? Or how fancy the name is? How popular the name is? If it's about popularity, we have one. Weah has been a popular guy. How you doing? Ellen too was popular, I can argue. She did what she needed to do. How did we do as a country? Charles Taylor became popular with the biggest gun.
Yeah, you must vote for Boca.
He got that. He did what he could. How did we do? The point is, popularity does not guarantee a better government.
Right, Boca is the best man.
Now,
Mr. Cabal, you running campaign ad on this network right now.
My experiences don't guarantee better government. What I know that guarantees that is consistency.
It's a guy like Boca, yeah.
Consistency, credibility. Somebody who have lived their life over the years with consistency, delivering results, and has been held accountable and holding themselves accountable. It has become the person's lifestyle. They will always do what have become part of them.
Yeah.
It's like my mother.
You're right.
She will always find me food because she knew that son will have a role to play. And so she did that consistently, even to today's day. Son, have you eaten? And so if I were to choose who would be a leader, I would choose my mother because I've seen her track record. Have you seen Waka's track record for results, consistency, and deliverability when it comes to leadership? Or has he been bonking?
Tell them about that.
Thomas, what do you know of him in terms of delivering results and bringing change wherever his work? What's about Gonglo? Does he have the consistency? What's about Weah? Has the popularity improved? The material condition. I can't preach this because I'm not a good preacher. I'm a noise maker, but my noise sometimes makes sense. Except for Ali. The last time Ali was telling me, sometimes the way you lay it down, you are a bad boy. I'm saying I'm not a bad boy. I'm a good boy, doing a good job, so that the bad people can go away. But when I see Ray Johnson, who is a bad guy with Boaka, who is Boaka? Well, Aliyu said, and I quote, crimes are not transferable. And then to find somebody guilty because of association is not a good thing. But the last time I checked, they say birds of the same feather fly together. Don't overlook that. I will leave it. I won't preach it again. The son that takes us home is always, we are all Liberians. Jimmy, thank you. Evans, you were outstanding. Ali, you were on point today.
No, you were making noise. You've been making noise behind me.
I will do it. Focus on Liberia. I want to say a big thank you to all of our supporters. We have been going through serious challenges with Facebook. Facebook told us that they have restricted us and they are not suggesting our content to anybody because one of our reporters reported about a suicide that was committed in Liberia by somebody in Bond County. Our reporter reported that, and they said it's against Facebook policy, so they have restricted our content from being viewed by anybody on Facebook except the person goes searching for it. That has been impacting us. It's been 8 months now. We have been strangulated. We try to create Facebook page, and we don't want to use different name. They will follow us and do the same thing. So the only way you can help us is continue to share the show. We are hoping that they said maybe about 8 months, the issue will resolve is that they who did it cannot resolve it, and it's killing us. And sometimes I don't want to be here, but the work we do here, we know you value it, so we have to be here. Yes. And we are only asking you to play your part. So we encourage you to be on YouTube. We are also there. We have no issues with YouTube at this time. Thank you for watching, and God bless you all, and bye-bye.
We all love you.